Do you have dry or flaky skin? Well, today we're back at the pharmacy with Con, and we're going to talk about specifically that, dry skin, and how cosmeceuticals can help it. Dry skin, huge issue for lots of women.
It is a huge issue, Tylia, and when we think about dry skin, it actually shows the wrinkles much more than oily skin does.
That's the worst part.
And it is, and unfortunately our skin can't talk, so it can't say, I'm dry, give me a drink. So we need to recognise and look for those signs because it can't talk, and make sure that we look at what we're doing that might be actually making our skin drier, and what we can do to replenish moisture that's lost in dry skin.
What should we be doing to treat dry skin?
Well, I talk to a lot of women about dry skin, and you know, I say to them, you are your own worst enemy, because a lot of women use cleansers that contain soap and detergent ingredients, and guess what? They dry the skin out even further because they strip the moisture out of the skin, so they actually dehydrate the skin and prematurely age women. So it's important, if you use a cleanser and your skin feels, you know how it can feel tight and dry,
like that before.
Too strong. You must use an emollient cleanser without soaps and detergents because you can effectively cleanse the skin, you can remove all of the makeup and impurities, but without stripping the precious reserves of moisture in the skin because you want to protect those and then replenish those as much as possible.
Yeah, right. So speaking of moisture, how do we put the moisture back into our skin?
Okay, so it's important to look for good quality skincare that's affordable luxury. And you know, sometimes it's difficult to find, not always easy to discern what is good quality, affordable skincare.
Yeah, it's very difficult. There's so many products out there and they're often very expensive as well. And you can't just try an expensive product.
And look, it's important for women just to make a discerning purchase. Look at, and pharmacy is a good place. You get good advice, and you can look at products that have clinical trials with actual evidence-based formulations, and that can significantly improve your skin. So we need to moisturise the skin. That's really, really important. And in the harsh Australian climate, what do we need to do? We need to use a sunscreen.
Of course.
And most times with incidental sun exposure, a 15 SPF moisturiser is sufficient for incidental sun exposure because obviously sun prematurely ages and dries the skin. And it's important to make sure that we use a good quality moisturiser prior to sun exposure and prior to the normal experiences that we will suffer in the environment.
So what about around our eyes? Can I use the same moisturiser there?
Well, actually, it's better to use a specialised eye cream because eye creams are actually designed specially for the thin skin around the eyes, and it's delicate, it's sensitive, and when I'm talking about eye cream, it's important to recognise we don't actually just put eye cream around our eye. They say that if we just use eye cream, it should actually be applied just around the cheekbone area, and the eye cream actually will then spread into the skin. So you don't need to get really close to the eye, but those eye creams are designed to smooth out the crow's feet, as we call them. And you know, you can actually use the same eye cream around your mouth for those smile lines that appear around your mouth as well, because they do the same thing. And so a specialised product, it's better to use around the eye area and around the lip area.
Eyes, mouth, a bit of a 2-in-1. But can you do me one better? Maybe a 3-in-1? Because, you know, the décolletage is also a very important area.
Well, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that, Tylia, because a lot of women just forget the neck and décolletage area. So your cream that you put on your face to moisturise the face, and, you know, using ingredients that are moisturising, like calendula and avocado, all of those ingredients are so good. But don't forget, you don't want just from here up to look nice. What about from here down? So it's important just to take that cream down to the neck and the décolletage area when you're applying it, day and night.